This dress is a 9 to 12 month size, but there are instructions throughout on how to change the size. You can't see it in the picture, but the yarn the dress is made from is all sparkly, making it the perfect little holiday dress.
Hi everyone! This is the dress I'm going to be teaching you how to make. It's a cute little Christmas tree dress. I kind of wanted it to look like a little Christmas tree, so I did an A-line pattern with a triangle shell ruffle on it, and then this cute little round collar, which I've used on some of my other dresses. And then I have these little snowflake buttons up here, and this would be really cute with like a little white or red long sleeve shirt, because it is a bit see-through. But if they wore leggings and then a cute little shirt underneath it, they'd be all warm and cozy for the cold weather. So come along with me and I'll show you how to make it. To get started, you'll need your two different colors to make your dress out of. This is the color that I'm choosing to do the collar. This is called Redstone Vanna's Glamour. I just got it at Joann's. It's about 1.75 ounces, and it is 96% acrylic and 4% other fiber, and it just has a cute little sparkle in it. This is called Spring Sparkle, I believe. Yeah, Spring Sparkle, and it's Karen Simply Soft Party, and it has a cute little sparkle in it too. So any sparkly yarn would work. This is acrylic yarn as well, and each of these is 3 ounces. And you'll need a size G hook, some pins, some really strong, almost like fishing line thread to keep the buttons on so that they don't come off, so that they won't be a choking hazard for your little girl. And then just some cute buttons. I got these at Joann's as well. These ones have a little jewel in the middle, and these ones are just plain. So whatever kind of buttons you like to decorate the dress with. And then let's get going. To start with, for your foundation chain of the collar, chain 52. And this will work well for all sizes up to 2T because it makes a pretty good size neck hole. So in your second stitch from your hook, yarn over and make a half double crochet. And can you hear my dog barking in the garage again? In each stitch, make 1 half double crochet. She's a standard poodle and she's very protective. She's a good dog. So 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way across. So in your second row, you will chain 1, and this is how you will make all your square edges. You'll chain 1, and in the second stitch from the hook, you will make your stitch, and that makes a nice square edge. So you're going to do 2 half double crochets. Somebody needs to tell my dog that there's nothing to worry about. And then in the third one is where you will make your increase, which is 2 stitches into 1. So whenever I say increase, that's just taking 2 stitches into 1 stitch. So there I've made my 2 half double crochets and my increase, and then I will go on to make 4 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then after you do your 4 is where you will make your increase. So it will be 4 half double crochets and increase on the 5th, 4 half double crochets and increase on the 5th until you come to the end. So I'm getting ready to start my third round, or my third row, excuse me. So I will chain 1 in the second stitch from the hook, make your half double crochet, and then you will do a total of 4 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here's where you'll make your increase, 2 stitches into 1. And then you will do 5 half double crochets. So what we did is that first single crochet counts as your first half double. So that's like 5 half double crochets and then your increase. And then you will do 5 half double crochets, and on the 6th one do your increase all the way across. So I finished my third row, and it ended up that my increase was right before the last stitch. So just don't make any increases on the very last stitch. If you're due to make your increase there, then just don't, and that's fine. You don't need one at the end, because then it'll make your collar edge start curling out and you want it to stay straight. So chain 1, turn your work, again second stitch from the hook, make a half double crochet, and then this one there won't be exact counts. I don't do things exact. Those of you who watch my channel know that, and I'm sorry if that really bothers you. I just love to just take it as I go and improvise. So what you're going to do on this 4th row is you're going to make increases in between your previous row's increases. So here's your increases from the previous row, and so you can take your increase anywhere in between here, and it doesn't matter if it's exactly the middle, just as long as it's not exactly on top of the previous row's increases. So you will take one right here, you will make one right there. So just make one increase in between the previous row's increase all the way across. Alright, so I finished that 4th row. I started my 5th row, and I'm continuing to make one increase in between each of the previous row's increases. So there's an increase, and then there's one, and so I made one in the middle, and it doesn't matter if it's the exact middle. And so for rows 5 through 10, you're going to continue doing that, making one increase in between each of the previous row's increases. So there's an increase, so I would make one somewhere in here in this area. And then just do that for rows 5 through 10, so that you have 10 complete rows of half double crochet. Alright, so this is what your collar looks like so far with 10 rows of your half double crochet. It's about 3 inches. If you are doing this size collar would be good for up to about 18 months, I would say. If you're going to do a 2T, increase the collar to about 3.5. If you're doing a 4T, increase it to 4 to 4.5 inches. The collar should be fitted to the child, and this line right here should come right up to the child's nipples. And then that's the way to fit it to them. So when you're done doing your 10th row, make a slip stitch right here to connect them, and then we'll come back. It leaves this little part open for a button at the top, so just tie a knot right there, connecting the collar. So the next step, you'll fold your collar down flat like this, and you will pin at the exact tops of the shoulders, and you'll pin the exact center of the collar down the center front. And then what you'll do is you're going to be marking the armhole front and back. So you will take your measuring tape and you'll measure down about 3¼ inches, and then you'll mark the pin, and that turns out to be about 15 stitches down. You can just count 15 stitches. This armhole size will be good for up to about an 18-month. If you are doing a bigger size collar for a 2T, like 2 rows bigger, you're going to want to move your pin down as well to about, I would say, maybe 3.5 to 4 inch armhole. But what you're going to want to do is it's just going to make a straight line straight across. I don't know if you can see that, but this is where the bodice is going to be hanging from, is right from this point. So go ahead and mark your center front, your armholes front and back, the top of the armholes, mark them all with pins, and then connect your skirt color on with a little granny knot, and then we'll come back ready to start our bodice. Alright, so starting right here where you attached your skirt color, put your hook right through and pull up a loop. And then what you're going to be doing is you're going to catch these ends into your work so that you don't have to weave them in afterward. Oh, where is that little end? So you don't have to weave them in afterward with the yarn needle. So kind of hold them in your finger, put them right up against the top. Pull this loop tight. Do a chain right there. That just holds it in. And then I want you to take one single crochet into every stitch. And I'm catching these ends in, just like this. And it works perfectly, so you don't have to weave them in later. And then take one single crochet until you come to the first mark of the armhole, and then we'll come back. So when you reach the first mark of your armhole, see, remember this is your shoulder, the top of your shoulder mark, and here's your 2 armhole pins. So do your last single crochet right on top of where you marked your pin, and in fact you can just take that out so it doesn't get mixed in there. Then you will chain 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you're doing this armhole size will be good up to about 18 months. If you're going to do a 2T, I would chain 10. If you're going to do any bigger, like a 3T, do a chain 12, and that should be good. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring those 2 pin marks together, just like this. So you have your hole, put your hook right through where your pin mark is. In fact, you can take that out now. Pull this tight. Pull your yarn right around the front of your hook like this. Pull through a loop, and then do your single crochet. So this is what it looks like. So you've got the first row of your bodice, and then you've made your armhole just by connecting that chain to the other side of your pin mark with a single crochet. Now go ahead and continue on with your single crochet all the way across the front, all the way until your next pin mark over here. So stop right here. So I've come across the front with my single crochet, and where the pin mark was on the side of the armhole, I've chained 8, just like the other side. Now you will bring it together, just like you did on the other side. Match it up with your other pin mark. Put your crochet hook right where your pin is, and then take your pin out, and then pull it up tight. Put your yarn right in front of your hook, just like that, and then pull up a loop. Oops, got caught. Pull up a loop, just like that, and then make your single crochet, and then you've got it connected. So it looks like that. So the bodice looks like this so far. Just with your little shoulder hole, your little armholes open. I hope that makes sense to you. I've got a lot of comments that this doesn't make sense because I've done this on another one of my dresses. It's on my YouTube channel. It's a little yellow dress with a collar just like this. So I hope this was more helpful to you and it wasn't confusing. So continue on with your single crochet until you come to this point. So we will be working in rounds from here on out. So when you come to the last stitch, make your next stitch in the first stitch of this row, and it'll kind of cinch it up too and make that connection tighter. So drop a loop and make a little single crochet right there. And so from here on out, we're going to be doing the half double crochets again. Make 1 half double crochet into every stitch. And we're going to do 5 rounds of half double crochets, 1 in every stitch. And when you come to the armhole, it's just regular. You just go through with your hook right into the middle of the braid of the chain, just like that. and then that's how you'll make your stitches on the armhole. So you'll just continue making a half double crochet right there, and one for each, and when you come over here you'll make a half double crochet right there and right there. Because I've gotten comments about that before too, that do you make them on the armhole and things like that? Yes, you do, because this is going to be the side of the dress underneath the armhole. So just continue making your half double crochets for 5 rounds, 1 in every stitch. After your 5 rounds, this is when you're going to start making your triangle shaped shells. So my round starts right at the opening of the collar. So yarn over, skip a stitch, in your next stitch make a double crochet, 1 more in the same stitch, then chain 3, and then make a slip stitch into your first chain. And I always make mine too tight, so I have to pull it through weird. But that makes your picot. And then continue making 2 more double crochets into the same stitch. And there's your little triangle shaped shell. So skip the next stitch right there. Go into the next one with a single crochet. And then skip 1 stitch. And then make another triangle shaped shell. And you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. You're skipping 1 stitch in between your shell and your single crochet. So I finished my row of shells, and if this last shell doesn't fit perfectly in here like it did on mine, because if you're making a different size then it might fit different, you might have to squish the shell in and make it smaller, or spread it out and make it bigger. It won't show in the finished dress, so don't worry if your last shell doesn't fit perfectly. So now we're ready to start the next round. So what you'll do is you'll go into this very next stitch with a single crochet, and what we're doing is we're just making this shell round bigger so it will stand out more as a ruffle on the dress. So you're going to be making 1 single crochet into every stitch except at the top. Go right into here, and you'll be making 2 single crochet right at the top so that you can turn, and then your next one will be right here. And of course my stitches are too tight again. And then just keep going with 1 single crochet into every stitch. And it just makes the shell a little bit bigger. And so continue doing that, just 1 single crochet into every stitch. So for this next round, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a grid of double crochets behind this ruffle so that the ruffle can stick up freely on the dress. So chain 1. Now you will be skipping this stitch that the shell was made in. So go into yarn over, because you're going to be making double crochets, and you will connect these double crochets to the top of the last row of the moss stitch that you made. Or sorry, not the moss stitch. This is the half double crochets. That's another dress I'm making with the moss stitch. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that again. So since we're skipping the stitch that the shell was made in, you're going to chain 1, yarn over, put it back up so you can tell where you're coming from. We're going to skip that stitch. Here's the very next half double crochet. Pull it through to make your double crochet. Chain 1. And so we're going to skip this stitch where the single crochet was made in between the shells. Yarn over, come down right here, I'll show you one more time. So we're skipping this stitch where the shell was made, and we'll come down in right next to it. Can you see where I'm at? And then make your double crochet. See, and that's what it looks like. It's just a little grid that's not going to show behind this. And that's the only reason I'm doing it, because it saves time, so you don't have to do your half double crochets. I'll show you one more time. Okay, so we skipped that stitch. We're going to come through here, through the front, back down, pull up your loop, and as you can see, I'm kind of folding down the shells as I'm making my stitch. Okay, so do that little grid line all the way across. So when you come back around, this is what it looks like. It'll kind of overlap like this, and it doesn't matter, again, if it comes up exactly. You can make this last square shorter or longer. You can skip 2 if you need to get over to here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a slip stitch in this chain space right here that we started with, and just slip it through just like that. And this will, it doesn't matter if this doesn't lay flat, because when you start making your rounds of half double crochet again, that just won't show. Okay, so in this stitch, start in again with your half double crochets. And this time you're going to make 6 to 9 rounds of half double crochet, just like you did here. And it just depends on how far apart you want the little ruffles to be. So this is all personal preference. You can do 10 rows of half double crochet, you can do 15. If you're making it for a bigger child, you might want to make the rows, you know, the strips of half double crochet longer. So I think I'll start with about 6 to 9 rows of the half double crochet, and you're just, sorry, not rows, it's going to be done in rounds. You don't need to start and stop, just keep going in rounds, and then we'll come back. So as usually happens when I'm making the dress, as I go along, maybe I'll decide that I want to do something different. So instead of doing the up to 10 rows like I told you of half double crochets, I'm just going to do 5, because I think I want to keep the same distance between the layers of the ruffles. So I'm going to start right here, right below the open neckline like I did this round, and you'll just yarn over, you'll skip a stitch, and you'll go right into making your shells just like you did before. So just keep repeating as many of these shell rows as you would like, doing as many rows of half double crochet in between as you would like, and then just hook them on with these rows of double crochet. And if you're making this for an older child, you'll probably want to do more rows, but let's see how many looks good. Just keep repeating these until you have it as long as you want, and then we'll come back. Alright, so this is what the dress looks like so far, and as you can see, I did 5 rows of the ruffle, of the shells. At the bottom, I did a double crochet row on the end instead of the single crochet row. So you were making 1 single crochet in every stitch, just make a double crochet in every stitch, and it just makes the bottom ruffle stand out a little bit more. And what I found helps is I took a light iron on the synthetic setting, and I just ironed down the ruffles a little bit, otherwise they just kind of stick up a little. But it doesn't smush the fibers at all. You can see it turned out really well. Just a little light iron every time you wash it. So the next step, go ahead and tie your red yarn right here at the back of the neck opening, and then we'll come back. So at the back of the neck opening, hold it like this with the right side facing out, and you're going to start single crocheting up the right hand side. So if you want to hold it like this, to do that, that would be probably the best way. So put your hook right through at the very bottom, pull up a loop, chain 1, and then make 1 single crochet into every stitch. And as you can see, I've marked with a pin about 3/4 of an inch. Oh, it just fell out. But it's about 3/4 of an inch down from the top. So make 1 stitch into every, make 1 single crochet into every stitch until you get to about there, and that's perfect for a 5/8 inch flat button. So when I've come to that point, I'm going to chain 3. If you're doing a larger button, you can make the opening right here an inch long, and you would chain 5. Just make sure the button is flat because the little baby will be laying against it on their back. Then after you've done your chain, come into the very corner and make a single crochet, and then turn your dress this way because we're going to be doing what's called a reverse single crochet, and it makes a really nice edging. But you can just do normal if you'd like, but that's why I suggested that you start on this side so that you could do a reverse single crochet, which works from left to right instead of right to left. So what you'll do is you'll come into this stitch, the very next stitch right here, pull through a loop, and then you'll just do like a normal single crochet. So you'll come back through this one, pull up a loop, and it helps to keep your loops a little loose so that you can make your hook go that way. So you'll just keep working backwards from left to right, doing single crochets. And as you can see, it makes this really pretty 3D effect on the edge. So continue doing that all the way around to this point, and then you can just do normal single crochet down to here. Once you get to the corner, I mean, like we did on this side. So once you get to the top of the neck opening, you'll just continue to do regular single crochet down to this point. So I've sewed my cute little button on, and I've tied off where I finished around the neck hole. And now I'm going to pull up a loop right here. You can either tie off right here and cut your yarn, or you can just bring it around back and pull up a loop. That way you don't have to start with a new piece of yarn. But either way, you're going to start with your red yarn right here, and you're going to be going through the bottom of the green to the top of the red and pulling through a loop. And what we're doing is we're just making a single crochet chain visible to cover up this part of the dress where the green and the red come together. So pull this tight, and then again on the next stitch you're going to be going down through the green and up through the red. Put your yarn over the top of the hook and pull through and make a single crochet. And as you can see, it just makes a nice little chain. If I can hold it so you can see it, just makes a nice little chain right where those two colors come together. And so do that all the way around until you come back to here. Although when you come to this part, I actually need to show you what to do here. So do this far until you come to the armhole. Alright, once you've come to this part of your sleeve, the shoulder, the top of the shoulder, I'm just going to be making a cute little rounded scalloped edge along the edge of the collar, and you can do whatever edging you would like, but this seemed to work really good for this dress. So I'm going to chain 4 and 2, and if you want to use a smaller hook for that, that would be fine too if you want to make the edge a little bit daintier. I'm just going to keep using the same hook. So you skip 2 spaces, come down into the next space with a single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 2, and come down with a single crochet. So it's going to look like that. And again, I'm going to iron these so that they stay rounded like that, so it looks cute. So just do this cute little scalloped edge until you come to the front part of the dress.
right here. So I finished doing the little scallops around the shoulder part of the collar. Now if your little chain scallops don't fit exactly, just make this last loop a little bigger or a little smaller as you need to make it fit. It just so happened that mine did fit perfectly. But if it hadn't, I would have just made it a little bit smaller or a little bit longer, and it really doesn't show. Nobody's going to look at it and say, that one scallop is one stitch off. So I've learned just to not worry about being exact. It's more fun when you're not. So just go ahead and keep coming around with like you did on the back. Just coming through the red and the green part so that it covers with your single crochets. And then continue on around the front doing your chain, your single crochet chain. Go around the sleeve with your scalloped edge. Come around the back again with your chain on the front. And then pull your yarn into the inside and tie it off with that yarn that's already there. Use a yarn needle and weave in all your edges because we've got lots of edges all over the whole dress. And then we'll come back.